Aging feels like something that arrives all at once, the morning you realize your energy has a limit, or the subtle moment a joint refuses to recover. From the outside, it appears as a sudden change in the background of our lives. Beneath that visible surface, molecular decline is already unfolding. Research into the biology of time shows that the process of aging begins decades before we notice it, progressing while we still appear outwardly young and healthy. We miss these early shifts because living systems are remarkably good at compensation. A younger body can absorb enormous amounts of strain by rerouting energy and suppressing inflammation, hiding the underlying wear and tear behind a facade of resilience. This is the cellular drift. Over time, the systems responsible for maintaining order begin losing precision. Communication becomes noisier, and cellular instructions become less stable, like static slowly creeping into a once clear signal. To understand why the body eventually breaks down, we have to look past the visible symptoms and focus on the microscopic noise that precedes them. The human body runs on proteins. They are the machinery of life, performing almost every biological task. But to function, they must fold into extraordinarily precise three-dimensional shapes. Life exists in a constant struggle against the inexorable forces of entropy. As Venki Ramakrishnan notes, physical systems naturally move toward disorder. Over time, the cell's quality control systems begin to lose this fight, and the precision of protein maintenance slips. This breakdown causes proteins to misfold and clump together, turning a smooth process into an internal obstruction. These clumps grow into toxic aggregates, becoming a tangible physical blockage that contributes to systemic decline in aging diseases. This loss of protein quality, or proteostatus, is the origin of the physical static that will eventually ripple outward to affect the entire organism. Maintaining this molecular order requires immense energy. That power is supplied by mitochondria, the cellular generators that drive every repair process and immune response in the body. Producing energy comes with a cost. The metabolic process generates highly unstable, reactive byproducts, released in immediate proximity to the mitochondria's delicate structures. This vicious cycle damages the mitochondria, making them less efficient at producing energy and prone to generating even more toxic waste. As this energy failure spreads, the body's margin of resilience narrows. The organism continues to operate, but the biological cost of sustaining complexity begins to rise. The chronic fatigue associated with getting older is the literal sound of the cellular power grid straining. It reflects a deep energetic crisis occurring across the body's internal systems. When a cell becomes too damaged to function, it enters a state called senescence. These cells permanently stop dividing, acting as a failsafe to prevent the spread of damage, but they refuse to die. While senescence is meant to be protective, these cells eventually accumulate and begin secreting a cocktail of inflammatory molecules. They transform from a local failsafe into a source of systemic irritation. This is inflammaging. It is a state where the immune signals intended for short-term defense become a smoldering, corrosive fire that never extinguishes, creating a persistently inflamed environment across the body's tissues. This chronic distress signal acts as the ultimate jammer. It turns localized damage into a system-wide broadcast of biological noise, distorting hormones and disrupting the coordination of the entire network. From the perspective of the whole organism, life depends on communication. The body is a vast network of molecular messages, and like any network, it is acutely vulnerable to the accumulation of noise. This loss of network precision leads directly to the diseases of aging. Alzheimer's, heart disease, and metabolic decline share these overlapping pathways of cellular noise and chronic inflammation. These varied conditions are the downstream consequences of a single, interconnected system finally losing its synchronization. Because cellular drift takes decades to accumulate, there is an incredibly long runway to intervene. Sleep, exercise, and nutrition maintain this biological signal. They clear senescent cells, repair mitochondrial function, and reduce inflammatory static, actively flattening the curve of decline. We are not passive observers of our own biology. The body responds continuously to its conditions, making us active negotiators in the balance between damage and recovery. Cellular aging begins quietly, unfolding in the background of ordinary life. The time to protect your biological signal is right now, while it is still a whisper.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Quantum Aging: How to Slow Biological Time and Extend Your Vital Years. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.